What's happening, good people? Welcome to the Steppers Pavilion show. I'm your host, Lamont Coy. We're here to enjoy life one step at a time. This is a show all about stepping. We're going to give you snippets and perspectives on stepping as we go through this show. And we're just here to just show you how people just enjoy life one step at a time. Hey, what's happening, good people? Welcome to the Steppers Pavilion, and it is class time, okay? I am going to be sharing with you the basics of Chicago stepping. And so now we're just going to be learning some fundamental movements to get you going. Again, these are just foundational movements. And the first thing I'm going to share with you is the side-to-side basic, okay? I'll be sharing different angles with you so you can kind of see. I'll turn around, you know, whatever you need to see so that you can join up with me in learning this dance. So get yourself comfortable. If you've got like a hardwood floor to learn on, that's great. If you have, carpet, don't worry about it. We'll make it work, okay? So the first basic is the side-to-side basic, okay? Basically, this dance is an 8-step cadence, meaning that there's 8 steps, okay? The first 3 steps are the execution steps. You'll be executing whatever it is that you're doing. The last 3 steps are recovery, and the last 2 are just a pause. So we're taking 8 steps in all. Execution, the first 3, recover the second 3, and the last 2 are a pause. So 3 steps, and then 2. That's all you gotta remember, okay? So now, as we go through these steps, I'm only going to be using 3 numbers, 1, 2, and 3, okay? So 3 numbers for all 8 steps, okay? Side step, start always. Ladies, you are going to start with your left foot. Fellas, you're going to start with your right foot, okay? Don't worry about it. Just remember to start with that left foot, ladies. Guys, you always start with your right. If you have a hard time remembering, just remember, guys are always right. All right, I'm just joking. Guys are always on the right side, okay? So now, first basic is going to be side to side. We're just going to start with our left foot and go to the side. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then pause. 1, 2. And again, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. All you're doing is picking up your feet. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Real simple. That's side to side basic. Guys, you're going the other way, okay? Just remember, I'll mirror you sometimes just so you can get the idea. But guys, if you're starting with your right foot, you should be moving to your right, okay? I know I'm pointing to your left side, but you should be going this way, okay? So starting with your right foot, it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Better yet, I will mirror you. I'll start with my left, but you know you're going to your right, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Guys, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Again, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. One more time, guys. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So for the guys, it is the lead side of this dance. For the ladies, it's the follow side. So if you're starting with your left, that's the follow side. Guys, it's the lead side if you're starting with your left. But it's good for you to both, for all of you to know both. So ladies, you can join in. You don't have to wait for your side. You can learn both, okay? So again, one more time, side to side, starting with our left, ladies. Guys, starting with your right, okay? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So that's the side to side basic. Now we're gonna go forward, or what we call straight basic, okay? So for that, I'm gonna turn sideways so you can kind of get a better view, better vantage point. We're going forward with our basic on this, right? We're still taking the same number of steps. We're just going forward, okay? Now, As we take our steps, remember, we're not launching out. We're not going way out. We're just going forward. No more than heel to toe length apart or forward. That's it. So if you can look at my heel and my toe, this is as far forward as we're going. Okay? So when we go forward and you take that first step, it's right here. Okay? So forward basic, same format. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Ladies, left foot. 1, 2, 3. Guys, right foot first. 2, 3. 1, 2. And 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2. One more time. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2. So that's forward basic. Now, know if you got forward, you've also got back, right? So the next basic move we're going to do is going back. Okay, so we're going back on our basic. Same thing, ladies, start with your left foot. Guys, start with your right foot, okay? Back, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Back. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2. One more time. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2. Last one. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2. So that's your back. So now we have your side to side, straight basic, and then we're going back on our basic. The last one I want to show you is called the cross, okay? This is where you will be crossing one foot in front of the other. Ladies, you're starting with your left foot. Again, guys, you're starting with your right foot. We're only doing heel to toe distance as far as stepping in front. So this foot is going to step here. This foot is going to step here. This is as far as we're going, okay? So just so you know to get the distance, how far my feet are coming out. Crossed, same thing, starting with the left foot, ladies. Guys with the right foot, we're crossing 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And pause. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2. One more. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2. So now we have our cross, we have our back or reverse basic, we have our forward basic, and we have our side to side. So let's go ahead and quickly review everything that we've just gone over real quick, just so you can kind of get a well-rounded verse of all of your basics, okay? So with that said, we're just going to go through everything, all right? Let's start with our forward basic first, or actually side to side basic first, and then we'll go through everything. As we go, I will change angles so you can see a little better, okay? So here we go, starting with side. Remember guys, which way you're going. You're going right, ladies, you're going left, okay? Here we go, starting with the side. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. I'll call it out. Don't worry. I'll call it out when it's time to go to the next one. 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Last one. All right. We're getting ready to go forward. We're getting ready to go forward. Here we go. 1, 2. I'm going to turn sideways. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going back. We're going back now. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. One more. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Last one. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Now we're crossing. 1, 2, 3. Cross 2, 3. 1, 2. Cross 2, 3. Cross 2, 3. 1, 2. One more. Cross 2, 3. And cross 2, 3. 1, 2. Last one. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2. Now that's all of your basics. That's not all of them, but this is a good little cross section of your basics. For more, you can catch me at meetup.com. I have a group there, and you can just look for Lumiere Steppers LLC if you love to join the class and learn more about Chicago stepping basics, foundational moves. You can find us there. Just join the group. We have a link there. You can just hop right on class and join us. We'd love to have you. For now, that's all for the Steppers Pavilion basic class. Practice, guys. Practice, practice, practice. You are going to love this dance. Thank you for joining me and starting your journey with me here on the Steppers Pavilion. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Well, folks, thank you for joining us here at the Steppers Pavilion. I know you've had a lot of fun. I know I did. We'll be right back.
Lumiere Steppers LLC presents the Steppers Pavilion with your host, Lamont Coy. The show features some of the best Chicago-style steppin' and dancers. Each episode provides the latest dance moves with style.
It's more than just a dance, right?
Great connectivity. This is about family.
Join the fun each week. Lumiere Steppers LLC presents the Steppers Pavilion with your host, Lamont Coy.
Welcome to the Steppers Pavilion show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Everybody, I am your host, Lamont Coy, and I have a distinguished guest with us. And she is a prolific writer, in my opinion. She is the author, inventor, what else you want to call it? The chief editor of Living the 8 Count, which is a wonderful blog that I read avidly. And she is just chock full of information. If you are new to the stepping game, that's one person you need to follow and keep up with in terms of watching somebody's journey in the stepping community. So I'd like to first welcome Ms. Sanji Stewart to the Steppers Pavilion. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. So how you been feeling? How's your day been? I mean, I know you said it was just...
It's been a crazy day. This is the week of my finals, but I am making time for everything. But time management is key in my life now. So
okay, all right, good.
Working it out.
Okay, well, let me get you on and all because I want you to pass that finals. I don't want to be the reason you having issues.
Yeah, Facebook will be on you for that.
So we're here to talk about the dance, actually the culture of stepping. And you followed it enough to kind of get a bird's eye view of what the culture is like, what's been. And, I really want you to speak from the perspective of your journey and how things have kind of opened up for you, the kinds of impacts that it may have had on you and the kinds of impacts that you've been able to make on the stepping community itself. So talk to me a little bit about that. Tell me, how has the Chicago stepping culture impacted you personally?
Well, first, I'll tell you the reason I fell in love with stepping, not just the dance, but the culture, is because it is a familiar feeling for me. I am born and raised in Jamaica, and I grew up dancing in Jamaica to dance hall, reggae, dances from the streets.
Right.
And in many ways, stepping has allowed me to reconnect with that feeling from my youth. So it definitely has a culture connection for me on how I grew up. The other thing is I've been involved in a lot of different groups here since moving to the United States years ago. And being in the stepping community, bar none, has been the most diverse and uplifting group I've been a part of. It's a national reach. I've made friends of all ages. And even though we are a large group of steppers across the nation, for me, it makes me feel a part of something that I can realize its breadth, and it's
Right.
not too large for me to feel insignificant.
Oh, yeah.
It gives me some empowerment that I can make a difference in a certain collection of people, that
Mhm.
if I get their attention and do the right thing, motivated for the right reasons, I can
Mm.
make a positive difference. So that for me is really how the stepping culture has impacted me personally, by making
Mhm.
me feel empowered, but also
Mhm.
reminding me of my youth.
Hey, I get that, especially the cultural connection, because it's rare that you run into a dance that we can call basically our own. Simply, it didn't come from anywhere. It was homegrown, came straight, from our communities and has been there ever since. There was never any disconnection. And so I felt that sense of, wow, this is something beautiful. This is something I felt like um, when I first learned how to dance, that it was as if would you could say a legacy was being passed down to me.
Mhm.
And I realized that years later that, hey, somebody thought enough of me to pass this down to me. And as I began to look into the history and began to look into different things and began to travel, I realized just how rich it is, how wonderful it is. And I get that. I feel you on that, there's that connection. And also, the impact that it has on you is something that's life changing to a certain degree. So I
Absolutely.
mean, now in the community where you live at, I'm sure wherever stepping goes, it impacts the community in some way, some form. The individuals that you meet along the way, everybody has their story. And in terms of the community that you live in, how has it impacted the community that you now serve?
I just want you to know that I think about you.
Lumiere Steppers LLC presents the Steppers Pavilion with your host, Lamont Coy. The show features some of the best Chicago-style steppin' and dancers. Each episode provides the latest dance moves with style.
It's more than just a dance,
Great
right?
connectivity. This is about family.
Join the fun each week. Lumiere Steppers LLC presents the Steppers Pavilion with your host, Lamont Coy.
I just want you to know that I think about you.
What's happening, good people? This is the Steppers Pavilion. I'm your host, Lamont Coy, and this is a Lumiere Steppers LLC production in association with Hype Media Global.
My community motivated me to do a lot of things that I'm doing that now I do on a national level, because most of what I will call my influence is on the internet. But when I started here in Virginia Beach, I didn't have a big vision of doing anything than just going to classes and dancing. And after I was encouraged to go to Chicago, I actually, came across a video online and saw Step Against, and I saw Lady Margaret dancing. I said, I'm gonna meet that lady, and I wanted to learn from her. And that started my trips to Chicago. And when I came home, people would be asking me, who did you meet? And, who did you dance with? How was it? And we would sit at a set here, and people would stop dancing to come over and congregate and talk to me. And then
Wow.
someone else would come in 15 minutes later, and I'd have to restart the story.
Story.
And so the more and more I had those conversations, I said, let me start writing and blogging about this. And anyone who has questions, you can go read my blog. So
Me.
that's how the blog started. So it was the influence it has had for me in my community is to allow people to have an understanding of what's in Chicago, who they can meet in Chicago, and more of the culture. I will tell you from an out-of-towner's perspective that is outside of Chicago, a lot of people are intimidated by the news and things that they see reflected of what Chicago is. And so going to Chicago, there is a lot of reservation from a lot of people that I meet. Like when I started going, people are like, you're going by yourself? Oh my God. Be safe, Sanji. But I've never had an unpleasant experience in Chicago, but I know to be vigilant and careful
Cool.
and to do
Right.
my research and connect with people. But I think
Mhm.
what I've done in my community is to open doors of more positive perceptions of what
Mhm.
can happen to Chicago in Chicago for a stepper.
Right. That's great. I mean, and that's much needed because, again, you have people all over who, I don't know, some have just made it up in their minds. They're just not going to go. They're not going to go get that experience. They're not going to have that immersion experience. And that puts them at such a disadvantage if they really, really love this dance and really, really want to, you know, um, take in everything that it has to offer. You've just gotta go. We always tell people that, but then we know that there's that group that just no, I'm not going to go. So
Yeah, I mean, and I mean, my platform has always been there is nothing that you can get out of town that compares to Chicago. Even when
right,
Chicago instructors come to your town, it is
mhm,
not the same.
right,
It's like,
totally different flavor.
yeah, it's like deep dish pizza. They
Yeah,
have it in other cities, but you won't taste it like how it tastes in Chicago.
hmm, that's true.
Yeah.
So in terms of impact, do you see Chicago Stepping make what kind of impact do you see um, Chicago Stepping making on future like generations? Have you noticed any kind of, like some younger folks kind of peeping in and looking at this and saying, maybe this is something I might be interested in. Have you noticed that?
So I've noticed that there is a younger wave of steppers coming in, especially in the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, what I will say, the secret I think of Chicago stepping that most people don't realize, I
Mm-hmm.
almost think of it as a charm school. There's
Hmm.
no other situation that I've been in all my years other than
Mhm.
home where I'm
Right.
learning about a man opening a door for me, a man holding
Mm-hmm.
my hand and escorting me to the dance floor,
Mm-hmm.
or treating a woman delicately on the dance floor, not
Mm-hmm.
yanking us all over the place, and just
Uh-huh.
respect. So the thing I think for the younger generation in this dance that is very important that organically happens and people don't realize how we're doing it
Mm-hmm.
because we're not so intentional with it is
Mm-hmm.
etiquette. And that's
Right.
why I write a lot about etiquette in my blog. And it's just the small courtesies. A woman at a set never walks to her car alone.
Mm-hmm.
Simple things that remind us what a gentleman should be like and what a lady should be like, women
Mm-hmm.
wearing heels,
Right.
little things like that that carry over. And they do a lot in terms of getting the younger generation who don't
Mm-hmm.
have that guidance at home or
Right.
even in social circles outside of stepping
Mm-hmm.
to gain that knowledge and adapt it and accept it in their regular day-to-day lifestyle.
Yeah, and I think ultimately they get a snapshot of what the stepping community or the community at large should look like. Ajay, it has been such a pleasure. The time just seems to fly when I talk to you, and I hope that we can do this again sometime in the future. For those of you that don't know, this lady is just phenomenal. I mean, go read her blog again, Living the Eight Count. Is it livingthe8count.com, right?
It's
Or
livingthe8count.com, but also we have launched our sister site, stepintheshy.org, for
mhm.
any steppers who are interested in stepping in Chicago, whether you live in Chicago or you want to go to Chicago.
All right, folks, you heard it right there from the source.
All
Now,
right.
with that said, we are going to just end this, but I'm just so
Thank you.
glad that you came and joined us. I really appreciate your time and taking the time out to join us here at the Steppers Pavilion. I can't wait to see this, later on. But again, thank you so much for being here with us. And Sanjay, I can't wait to run into you on the set again. I know I owe you like a few dances.
5. Yes, yes, yes. And Lamont, I just want to say thank you for this opportunity because, I just feel like I'm a small fish in a big pond, but it's things like this that go back to what I said at the beginning, where it's a community that, makes you feel it's small enough for you to have an influence. So I really appreciate the opportunity to share my perspective because there's so many people you can talk to. So thank you for choosing me. And I really enjoyed the time. Thank you.
Of course. Enjoyed it too. Enjoyed it too. Well, folks, that's it for the Steppers Pavilion. Join us next time when we'll have some different perspectives coming up. Again, a lot of activities, a lot going on at the Steppers Pavilion. Stay tuned into us and we will see you next time on the Steppers Pavilion. Take care, folks. Well, folks, thank you for joining us here at the Steppers Pavilion. I know you've had a lot of fun. I know I did.